Right, so today I'm in Newark, Newark, New Jersey. Not really, Newark, Nottinghamshire, Newark-on-Trent, for another reenactment, but I just thought I'd quickly show you the Queen's Sconce, which is a fortification to the south of Newark. If you read one of my short stories called The Prince's Gambit, you will know that there was a siege that in March 1644, and Prince Rupert sort of almost miraculously broke the siege, lifted the siege, and it was kind of his big famous thing that he did, really. One of his big famous things that he did that was pretty genius, really. After that, they realised that Newark, being strategically very well placed on the major roads and on the Trent, with its big old castle, being a major royalist garrison, they realised that they were going to get hassled against all the artillery that they captured from the parliamentarians. They decided that they were going to reinforce Newark and make it a lot stronger in case they ever faced another siege, and of course they did. So after that siege that I write about in 44, they set about building a whole load more earthworks, constructing a whole load more earthworks and reinforcing the town. And to the north they built a great big sconce called the King's Sconce. I think sconce, by the way, is a from the Dutch word, but it just means a fort, and generally it's outside of the main sort of ringwork of defences. So it's a fort on its own, outside of the town. So there's the King's Sconce to the north, and then there's the Queen's Sconce to the south. They're identical forts, and they're basically square shaped. They're about 300 feet across, pretty big. They have arrowhead shaped bastions where they can mount cavalry cannon, and it basically provides a complete field of fire and a defensive fortress outside of the main fortress of the town itself. Anyway, King's Sconce is gone, but the Queen's Sconce is here, and I will just show you quickly. Right. So that's where I've come from. So anyway, this is the first of the bastions, really. So there's the ditch. The ditch was about, I think, 30 foot deep, something like that, and about 15 foot across. So there's this massive, great fort in the middle. It's got these mega points, which would have been heavily fortified and have artillery on the top, and a very deep ditch. So if you imagine you're coming at Newark from the south, before you can take the town, you've got to take this thing, which is unreal. So after they built these sconces, the parliamentarians rock up again. So I'm just going to cross the modern bridge onto the sconce, so you can see the ditch down there. Basically in late 45, so after Naseby, after Montrose is lost as well, I think, in Scotland, the parliamentarian cause is very, well and truly on the up, and the royalists are really, really struggling. And so here's the centre of the fort. There you go. There's the ditch. So basically, it goes all the way around. You have these massive, great points at each side. There's one over there. I don't know if you can see that or not. To be honest, it's a bit bright for me to see the screen. Another one there. Another one there. One over there, and they've got cannon. In fact, there's a gun over here, or at least a sculpture. So you can just see it behind those people. And so there's a mega siege. Tail end of 1645 into 1646, and the town of Newark holds out for all those months, but there's they get bombarded. There's you know, terrible disease and stuff presumably within the town. But this sconce here is one of the reasons why it holds out for so long. In the end, they're kind of overwhelmed, not the town but the cause generally, and they hold out to the end really. Charles I, King Charles, actually orders the town to surrender in the end. And I'm sure some of the military guys were pretty disappointed about that, but I imagine most, because it must have been a rough old few months. Anyway, Queen's Sconce, it's just a mound of earth, to be honest, but I don't know if you can really see the scale of the thing. But the fact that it's still here, I don't think there's anything like it left, certainly in England. I mean, it's remarkable. You've got loads of these over in the Low Countries during the 30 Years' War, where they really perfected this kind of earthwork fortification, which really replaced the sort of medieval castles, because modern ordnance and all that was just smashing them to bits. But these earthworks provided a great defence for a besieged town, and yeah, they were pretty successful. I think, before anyone from Worcester mentions it, I think they've got a bit of a sconce left at Worcester, but it's nothing like this, to be honest. And that is why, one of the reasons why Newark was also chosen as the location for the Civil War centre, because there's quite a lot of 17th century stuff left over. This being this and the castle being chief of them. Anyway, there you go, Queen's Sconce.